So, traditional Chinese medicine and hormones. So, starting with being a teenager. Well, I suppose the first place to start with is kind of what is the kind of principles of traditional Chinese medicine. Now, please know I know nothing about this. This is purely, I am inspired to know more about this and to look at it from this perspective, because I think the more perspectives we can look at it from, the fuller our picture is. So this is really, really kind of, go look it up yourself, basically. So Chinese medicine, the kind of idea is this yin and yang. So everybody's heard of yin and yang and having this balance. They also talk about 5 elements. Their elements are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Very similar to what we find in Ayurvedic. And then they also have organs. Organs are a big thing, and we know about the meridians that run through the body. So the organs, the internal organ systems that have physical and energetic functions. So where I think this is interesting is puberty seems to be all about. They talk about puberty as being all about the kidneys, but what are the energies that are involved with the kidneys? How do you support them? And it's just another way. It's another door in. As always, take it or leave it, play with it or not, whatever. It's just about looking through a different lens. So as I said, puberty for in traditional Chinese medicine is it's a natural phase. Who's not going to say it's a natural phase? And it is governed by the balance and the flow of qi, which is your vital energy, prana in Ayurvedic, and the maturation of the kidneys. So the kidneys are kind of key. I said this, the kidneys are key to being a teenager. And so all of the energy that, from a Chinese medicine perspective, all the energy that is associated with the kidneys is what's all going to be kind of all over the place. So it is not only physical transformation, obviously, but also a deeper energetic and spiritual transformation. So it, again, and this is why I'm interested in this, because our medicine really looks at physicality. It looks at the chemicals, and then it looks at the emotions, like they're so, they're kind of nutcases because their chemicals are all over the place, but it doesn't really put them together and add in the essence of who that human being is, the essence of becoming that human being, the essence of coming into themselves. And that, I think, we're missing, which is why I am looking at these briefly. This one will be very brief because this is not my area. So anyway, so having said that, it's all about the kidney and yin, Jing. I don't even know how to pronounce it, jing. And so what we're looking at is that this energy is stored in the kidneys, and it's governs growth, it governs development, it governs reproduction, it governs aging. So at puberty, there's a surge in this energy. It's like a which obviously activates everything, because that's the idea. We're looking to activate that, but as it surges, that's what we're looking to kind of support and manage. So the kidneys, from their point of view, are the foundations of life. They store it. It's governed from birth, growth, and reproduction, and then it leads to conception. It leads to 2 different types of channels that are critical for reproduction and emotional energy, both reproduction and emotion. Okay, how do they come up with that? So from the emotional and mental and spiritual changes. So we all know kind of the physical changes. The emotions, the liver is in disharmony. So the liver chi is disharmony. The liver, I went through many years when I was depleted, and my acupuncturist would always say, "Oh, you're livery," and it became language in my house. If I was like, I'd say I'm livery, it was like code to get out of Dodge. So the liver governs emotions, and it can swing very quickly, especially in teenagers. It can swing very quickly, and in puberty, so it causes this moods to come up and come down. For me, livery is it can come off like anger. Underneath that is a lot more, but in terms of what it comes out, it can come out like anger. When I was livery, I would be discombobulated. I would be very flighty, very, not flighty as in dizzy, but like, highly strung. And potentially needs calming. So as teenagers, it makes perfect sense to me that they would be livery, because that would be, blow up very quickly. The mental changes, they talk about it having an increase in spirit, so an increase in spirit activity. So that the teens are seeking their identity, which we've already talked about. They're seeking meaning, which we've already talked about. And they're seeking consciousness and seeking expansion. I like that, I like the fact that this is what we talk about in terms of these different methods, these different philosophies, that they include that. Because I think when we don't include this, we're missing real essence. We're just dealing with symptoms. We're just dealing with external symptoms. We're missing the point. We're missing what's really truly going on. Spiritual awakening from the TCM perspective, we're looking at the heart, which houses the spirit. Like, teenagers are all heart. They really are. Like, imagine, look how much they fall in love, and then their heart broken, and then their heart is destroyed because their friends are going out with somebody else's friends. And I mean, they're all heart. Teenagers are all heart. So teens develop a deeper awareness of love, of morality, and of purpose. So again, same kind of languages would come up in the Steiner's perspective, but it's very, like, if you think of a little chick, how vulnerable that little chick is. So for me, these teens' little hearts, they're like little chicks. They're very vulnerable. They can be stepped on so easily. They haven't really got the speed to get out of the way or to see. They haven't got the vision yet to know, well, that's a setup. Let's not go down that road here. Or, they're all over the place. No teenagers. Social identity. Surprisingly not discussed in Steiner, but very, very critical. Anybody who has ever been a teenager. Rising yang even, leads to exploration, leads to assertiveness, leads to rebellion, leads to being part of establishing their own personal autonomy. And at the same time, we know that they want moral support doing all of that. So while they're trying to do it, they're also in community, in group, trying to do it. Then we have the physical changes. So what are the physical changes from a traditional medicine point of view? Menstruation obviously comes in. Fertility. Kidneys are around strength. Kidney chi needs to be strengthened. Growth. There's massive growth spurts. So again, that's kidney and blood. Acne, they would look as heart, as heat in the lungs would be your acne, and it all breaking out, and stomach kind of stuff. Certainly cramps. I mean, God love. I found acupuncture really, really helpful to regulate. So for me, this whole idea of the start of puberty, when there's a build-up, when the body hasn't yet got enough chi to actually have a period, but it's starting. So all of this transition is starting, but there isn't, like I said, there's not enough chi to actually have a period. The tension really builds up, and if you can almost think of it like the tension just build. And so that was very helpful in acupuncture. Was really, really helpful in terms of moving that on and getting the stuckness unstuck, so that the period could flow, and then everything could kind of settle down again. And also very helpful in terms of regulating, because in the beginning, everything's all over the place. So being able to help regulate that and help the body develop the chi to be able to regulate it. And here's the thing, teenagers are so stressed nowadays. I just, like, my heart breaks when you look at how they've taken on this stressed body that is in the world. And so their little bodies are really, really stressed, and their bodies are trying to do so much. They are trying to change, to grow, and to develop. And then they have this stress, which we know all about, the suppressions that stress puts on your body. And so the body is finding it difficult to do what it needs to do. So in my experience, acupuncture has always been really helpful to release the pressure. Yoga obviously is really, really helpful to release the stress. Release the stress, release the pressure. They work really, really well together. What else? Diet. Diet is a big thing in traditional Chinese medicine. So there's a lot of information in the thing about the stuff that's good for them, that is supportive for them. So black sesame, red dates, avoiding sugar. I mean, who's not going to want to say that? So in terms of emotional regulation, they look at movement. They have Qigong. We have yoga. Obviously, then all of the higher level sports stuff is all really good, but the higher level sports stuff brings in more stress on itself. So there is a stress element to that. And also, what about the people who aren't doing that sports stuff? And we'll talk when I get on to what's her name, Roar. When we look at women and women not being small men, we'll look at why so many girls maybe fall out of sports at puberty because of the change in the physicality of the changes in their body. So anyway, there's a whole load more there around having a look at see what you can do to support teens, and that can support teens and change your perspective on teens.